Hey guys, it's Danny. Alrighty, today I'm gonna show you how I made this really pretty Vanda basket. Yes, I'm in the motions of making my greenhouse a little bit more pretty. It looks good on camera too. It's just what I decided to do this year. Now, this video will have two parts. The first part will be the actual tutorial, let's call it. I'll show you what I did, what materials I used, and so on. And the second part will be slightly more theoretical. I will explain why I did certain things, because I rarely, if ever, do things without reason, without planning them. So I'm just going to explain the reasoning behind pretty much everything. So first of all, the basket. I was actually really inspired to make this whole idea because of these baskets. I found them for sale at my local improvement store, which has a garden section. They are a set of 3 baskets, a smaller one, an intermediate one, and a larger one, and all 3 of them costed around €5. So 3 baskets for €5, that is an incredible deal. You might already know Vanda baskets. The proper ones are really expensive. Now, given the wood on these baskets is not as strong. Also, they are coated with a sort of paint which is matte. I am pretty sure the wood would swell underwater and will not be very resistant. Therefore, on my baskets, I applied a coat of spray paint. It is a glossy finish, and I did my best to cover any exposed wood just to protect it and make it last as long as possible. So I'm really hoping my paint treatment did it good. However, we'll talk about toxicity issues later on in the video. This video tutorial, though, is not necessarily a real tutorial in the sense that I hope you get inspired by everything I do, and even if you don't find the same exact baskets, you can always do them yourselves or use something else, such as this. You wanna know what this is? Well, it's a cap that used to be inside the pickle jars that I purchased from the supermarket. It was just something added to its cap to keep the pickles under liquid. Oh, that's a tongue twister. So I thought, well, this kinda looks like a basket, right? So there you go, it's white, it's pretty elegant, and it's plastic, it's not gonna degrade. So it doesn't have to be a wooden basket, just be creative. Alrighty, let's get to work. So the first thing we will need are some loops. I found some loop screws at my local home improvement store, and you see on the screen how big they are, and I will need to put 4 of them on each corner of my basket. Now, if you're a smart person, you will first drill a hole so that the screw can be installed faster. However, it was 5:30 in the morning when I filmed and nobody was awake, so I just did it manually. It works, it just takes a little longer. So what I did was just press on the screw, rotated it, and when it finally got inside the wood, I used a screwdriver, made a ledge out of it, and just screwed it in further, and voila, that's it. It's just not a very scientific way to do it. The next thing we will need is the medium, and we are going to use coconut fiber. Yes, it is an organic thing, but this stuff degrades really slow. I'll talk more about it in the second part of the video. Now, at garden centers or flower shops, you can definitely find bags with this type of coconut. However, for the life of me, I could not find any. So my only solution was to buy a rod, just like the one I'm using for the vanilla orchid, and just peel off the coconut coir. Next up, we need to prepare the wire. So I'm using galvanized wire, and you can see on the screen the thickness and everything. Galvanized wire theoretically should not rust, and it is very used with orchid growing. And if you've ever tried to straighten wire with your bare fingers, you know it's impossible. Luckily, there's a very easy way. Now, how to straighten it is not my idea, and there are quite a few tutorials on this matter. I'll link you down below to one made by Wade because he's an orchid grower. So pretty much what you need is a drill. I'm using a small electric drill, and what I need to do is just to catch or stabilize or pin my wire to something sturdy that will not move, and then insert the other end of the wire into the drill. Close it up and make sure it's tight and the wire is secure inside, and then start the drill. And let's witness the magic. And behold, we have straight wire, which actually sits straight. Who knew it could be so simple? Now it's time to choose an orchid to go with this basket, and I'm choosing quite a very young one. This is my Vanda tricolor variety suavis. Now before we put her into the basket, we need to attach the wires to the basket, and for this I kind of need the height of the orchid. Now I don't usually measure stuff on my channel. If you like to measure, that's perfectly fine. I don't. I just want to know how tall I should make my wire, and I think this tall. I'm just going to bend the wire at that specific location, and that will be the total height of my wire. So I'm bending it, and I'm bringing the two sides of the wire close to each other, and then I cut the excessive one, and what I'm left with is a sort of V. I will do the very same thing again because I will have a total of 4 wires. They just happen to be 2 wires bent in the middle to form a tip where the hook will be. And I hope you understood what I'm trying to say. If not, just watch the images. Next up, I'm going to bend each of the legs of this V or tent-shaped formation, and I will bend them in the opposite direction because my wire will be placed diagonally, meaning one of the legs will be placed on a loop while the other will be placed on the opposite loop in a diagonal pattern. So not on the same side. With the use of my pliers, I will bend the wire leg just so it doesn't get out of the loop, and with the other V-shaped wire formation, well, I'm gonna do the very same thing, but I will overlap the wires. At the tip, one of the wires will be on top of the others. This is how the hook will keep them in place, and this is why I attach them to my basket diagonally. Okay, so for the next part, I need to keep my basket hanging from somewhere. So it's time to mount the hook. For the life of me, I could not find a nest-shaped hook which was bendable enough for me to shape with my pliers. So I decided I'm just going to make one. Chances are it's going to hold the orchid. I'm using some wire remains and I'm just going to shape it into an S. This is the only part that doesn't look all that pretty, but I had no other solution, and anyway, as you'll see in the end, you don't see it all that much. The important thing is that I create a big enough S to fit on my Vanda hanger, and also that it stays straight. Next up, let's bring in the glue gun. Now, this is the thing that will maintain my hook straight. As you will see, I'm keeping my Vandas on a very high bar, and I'm using a device to put them there, and I need that hook to be straight, not dangle. Now, since I'm here, I'm also going to cover with a little blob of glue each exposed cut wire. This can seriously injure the plant, but not only our fingers as well. It will do a great job, and you will not have any scratches. And now that everything is done, time to put the Vanda in the basket. First, I'm going to choose a front, and this is in accordance with the position of the bar that I have in front of the window. And I also realized that I really don't need to stabilize my orchid in any way. With the other orchid, which you will see in a moment, the guinea pig practically, I had to use some raffia tape to stabilize the orchid inside the basket, but that one didn't really have roots. This one has a lot of roots, so all I need to do is just place a layer of coconut fiber on the bottom of the pot, pretty much just like I would repot, and then just take some clumps and arrange them gently around the roots, on top of the roots, pretty much create a sort of ambience for humidity to be more locked in there and be available for the orchid. And we're pretty much done. All I need to do is create a new tag, and these plastic tags were purchased from my home improvement store. I decided to display them on one side of the basket, on the front side. And with that said, the project is pretty much over. So as I was saying earlier, this is not necessarily a tutorial, a step-by-step or something. I made this as a source of inspiration. Will I put all of my Vandas in baskets like this? I don't know. I'm a little lazy, and I really do like how the microfiber retains water, so I will just play around with these ones that I made, and if I discover that my Vandas can stay hydrated in these baskets, then why not? They look spectacular, I have to say. They look really elegant, really nice, and the thing is, I don't think I will have issues watering the orchids, as I will mention in the second part of the video. But yeah, there we go. I'm pretty happy with how it looks like. And now for the more theoretical part, it's not gonna take long. First of all, the spray paint. I did some tests before I used it. Last summer I used it on some pots with some other plants and it didn't turn out to be toxic. Then about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, I transferred my very first Vanda in this type of basket. And as you can see, the roots are not affected. Mind you, what you see right now is a root that was trying to grow through one of the holes of the pot it was in. So that's why it looks a little strangled, but the tip is not blackened. It doesn't really show any sign. I cannot, however, guarantee that the spray paint is 100% safe for orchids. So you might either test it out first on your own or not use spray paint at all. I'm doing this because I do want to figure out if it's toxic or not. If you guys know anything, just let me know down below if you've experienced any issues with spray paint and orchid roots. So far so good. I also have an aerial root of a phalaenopsis, which is growing along one of these sprayed baskets for about a week now, and she's perfectly fine. So I don't believe it's toxic, but you know, better be safe. Just letting you guys know there is a chance it might be an issue. Now, why did I choose these baskets with a floor, practically with a bottom? Well, simple, because I do want it to retain water. Retain water? Yes, retain water. Look what happens when I water the orchid, let it drain the excess, and then tip a little bit the basket over. Do you see that amount of water there? Yeah, that's what the basket actually retains because it has a floor. And this is what makes this type of basket a little better for me than the typical Vanda basket. Of course, the typical Vanda basket is really good, but it kind of fits only some environments. For 3 years, I've grown my orchids in my previous environment in a temperate climate in a completely bottomless basket. Everything was going fine, and then I moved countries, and behold, we have issues because this is a subtropical climate. So that really just works out great for me. It's not something mandatory or that will work for everybody, but pretty much that's what attracted me to these baskets. And third of all, the coconut fiber, yes, it will degrade, but really slow. I used to use this when I had birds and they would make nests, and the coconut fiber would handle water, moisture, humidity, whatever very well without degrading. Also, downstairs we have a garden which has some of these rods for years. The coconut fiber is colorless because of the sun, and still it's not mushy. So I'm confident it will last. As you might know, I'm a fan of inorganic, but if I can find an organic that lasts years and years and years and years and years and years, you know, I'm okay with it. Also, when it decomposes, you know, it's fiber. It's so easy to remove from the root system. It's not like big chunks of bark. That's the reason I didn't use any other type of medium like sphagnum moss, bark, and, you know, even microfiber. At some point, it might need changing because it might accumulate a lot of algae. So it might be a good alternative. Who knows? I need to test it out. I find that it does come off of the roots really easy. It looks okay. For those of you who prefer a more natural approach, I think it looks pretty natural. You don't have to have white baskets. You can go with natural wood, of course. As I was saying, inspiration. And I think that's about it. But we shall see what happens in the future. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video. You know the drill. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe to my channel for regular orchid videos, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Now that's it. I'll see you all next time. Bye!